Hello and welcome to my video about the coins of the Roman Republic. The reason I'm making this video is that there are a lot of ancient coins of the Roman Republic that will be very interesting for people to learn a lot about. So first of all, let me put who I am. My name is Julius Babelon. I'm an expert numismatist, a dealer, and author in this field. I love ancient coins and I love teaching people more about them. And obviously that does translate to more sales. So first I'm going to go over what book to use for silver Roman Republic coins, which most of them are. This would be Roman Silver Coins by David Sear. I'll be giving a link to that in the article below. Basically, the way ancient coins of the Roman Republic are arranged is by family names. For example, you see over here Calpurnia. This is a standard that has been adopted by many of them. What you could actually do is to read some of the names on the coins. So this is the standard reference work that you need to get if you want to get into the Roman Republic coins. Now let's go over the history and the coinage of the Roman Republic. They issued both bronze and silver coinage. In gold, I have not seen pretty much any, or if I have, it's very rare. But most of the coins are bronze and silver. Back in a long time ago, circa, we're talking about 54 centuries BC, you had these, clumps of bronze. They're called ius rude. Very big clumps and very interesting for collecting. These are almost Roman proto-coins. Then what you have is the development of the ius rude coins. Ius rude coins are these huge cast pieces that were struck during the Roman Republic. See, on the front you have Roma, the personification of Rome. Kind of like Athena was the personification of Athens. And on the back you have the galley, the front part of the galley. And you have these little pellets as the value marks on these bronze pieces. So this was an ius grave, triens. And it was from circa 225 BC. Very interesting big piece. Now, let's check out this bronze coin. So you had also the head of Roma and you had the galley. Next, the reason why Roman Republic coins are very interesting is because they describe the different family names, many of them. Of course, it starts with a time period where the coins were actually anonymous. And in the book, if you look in there, they're called anonymous Roman Republic coins, meaning they did not bear things like this. This one says Caesar, and on the back is the Julii family name, cognomen. So this one is L. Julius. You see, that's why they the most standard organization system for organizing these coins is by the cognomen. You see, under reference it says Julia 4. So you would open up that book under Julia and you would find the fourth one. You would be able to see this coin described in there. So you see this one, Caesar. This is the of the family name of Julius Caesar. It's much earlier than Julius Caesar was. This is about over 50 years beforehand. So very interesting coin. And basically what happened was that the leading patrician families, or the leading families in Rome, they had the ability for a time period to issue coins which bore the names of their family name, and they're also maybe portraits of their ancestors. Like, for example, this coin is of Q. Saepio Brutus, also better known as Marcus Junius Brutus. In 54 BC, he was the mint master, or the moneyer of the Roman. See, it says Brutus on the bottom, and this scene describes actually the four lictors walking between, because basically Brutus traced his ancestry to tyrannicides that got rid of the monarchs and instituted the Roman Republic. So in the front you had the goddess of liberty, Libertas, and in the back you had this famous scene that Brutus later put on his gold coin when he escaped Rome after killing Caesar off. So very interesting reverse type. So that's the reason why these Roman Republic coins are interesting, is because they show the life and the times and the history of the Roman Republic and the ancestors, where they would actually tell you the significance of that event. This coin, for example, is very interesting. This coin is from circa 113 BC, and it features a voting scene. Casting ballots inside an urn. This was a secret vote. That's Rome over here. So another scene that's very important depicted on a coin. So you had religious scenes, you had foundations of Rome scenes, you had a lot of other important scenes. This is a very important coin where Pompey's the great generals conquered the Judea area. Basically, this references a victory in Judea. It has a scorpion and all this other stuff. And if you look in David Hendon's Guide to Biblical Coins, this is one of the coins listed there. So very interesting. It's about victory over Aretas, and very interesting coin. So you have important events such as this commemorated on coins like this. So this is from 58 BC when Pompey the Great was very popular. This coin is interesting because it features Janus, the ancient Roman god of beginnings and endings, and also doorways, and has the galley being led by a Roman. See, their coins, they had the word Roma in them, a lot of them. Very interesting. Sulla did not issue any portrait coins, but there were coins bearing his name. This is one of them. And it was issued under Manlius Tercatus Moneyer. So there was a guy in charge of the mint, and on the back, Sulla is featured riding the quadriga, which is the four-horse chariot, right. And you see on the bottom, you could actually read his name, L. Sulla, Lucius Sulla. And on the front, of course, you have Roma and the moneyer's name. Next, this series would not be complete without having a coin of Julius Caesar. This is the coin that Julius Caesar actually got in very big trouble for. If you understood the context that the Romans were living under, basically they saw a lot of Hellenistic monarchies, which were like Greek monarchies in the East, where only monarchs, kings, were the ones that would put up their portrait on a coin. So when they saw Caesar placing his name during his lifetime on a coin, it really signaled a lot of trouble for them, because they thought that Julius Caesar is trying to become king, and in fact, it's been hundreds of years since they had kings. So we're talking about over 510 BC to about 27 BC. You had the Roman Republic. On the back of the coin, you have a Venus, the patron goddess of Julius Caesar. So this fits into the Roman Republic series. It also fits into the Imperatorial series, where you have a transition of the Roman Republic to the Roman Imperial issues. The Roman Imperial issues start with Augustus, the adopted son of Julius Caesar, also known as Octavian. This is another coin which is non-portrait, which was okay at the time, which featured Caesar, which featured the name Caesar and the elephant stamping out serpent. And over here in the back you have the priestly implements of Pontifex Maximus, of the Roman state religion. Julius Caesar wound up accumulating a lot of offices and titles, one of the important ones being part of the religion of Rome. Next, this coin celebrates Spain. It personifies Spain. One of the things to understand about the Romans is that we could consider them polytheists. Yes, having many gods. But what it is also they personified goddesses as, for example, location. How do you picture Spain? You would picture her as a goddess in her own right. Or how would you present liberty as libertas? You know, kind of like we have Lady Liberty on some of US coins, or at least used to. So over here you have the personification of Spain, and it says Hispan on the behind. And this one's kind of interesting. This is a serrated denarius. They implemented this edge serrations in order to prevent the counterfeiting of ancient Roman coins. So this way, it's almost kind of like biting through the coin that you will be able to see if somebody just put a bronze core and coated it with silver on the top. Those are called foray coins. What would happen sometimes is that corrupt mint masters, or just in general, a die would be stolen. A die is something that you use to strike coins, which is this heavy metal piece where you would put a hot piece of metal between, and what they would do is they would strike foray coins, or pretty much what could be considered silver-plated coins, and they would strike them, and those would get into circulation. But this measure really did not help with that issue, and it was later abandoned. But that's very interesting to see this serrated edge. Next, this one's kind of interesting because it features a battle scene where you have two soldiers battling, and the bottom a fallen one about to fall over. And you have a beautiful depiction of Rome on the front. Next, Pompey the Great, when he wound up getting defeated by Julius Caesar's army, he ran off to the east to Egypt, and when he landed there, the king of Egypt, the young king, wound up actually beheading Pompey the Great. But his son Sextus Pompey was, a maritime power in Sicily, and Sextus Pompey issued a coin with the portrait of Pompey as Janus, the double-headed god of beginnings and ends. And it says up here Magnus, Pompey the Great, Magnus. And on the back you have Pius and Imp. So this is very beautiful, as it traces the Republican values, but at the same time it also features the portrait of the Pompey the Great by his son Sextus Pompey. And this was struck after the death of Pompey the Great, obviously, and from circa 43 to 36 BC. Next, so describing imperatorial period. When somebody was a conquering general, they became imperators, or masters of the domain. Later, the emperors assumed that title, hence emperor. So this guy is Cucaesalius Metellus Pius as imperator. And so imperator was another title that even Brutus assumed when he ran off. So it's pretty much a title of a victorious general. This one's kind of interesting. This coin features two soldiers, and one of them on the ground actually holding a pig which they're about to sacrifice. So on this coin, what's interesting is that you have the head of Jupiter, the king of the gods, equivalent of Zeus, and on the back you have Juno Sospita. Juno was the equivalent of Hera, the Queen of the Gods. So this is kind of interesting. Next, what's interesting about this coin is it's of the family of Julius Caesar, and it features the Dioscuri twins. The Dioscuri twins were Castor and Pollux, where one of them was mortal and the other one immortal. And basically one of them sacrifices immortality, and they were both placed into the night sky. So they're also known in astrological lore as the Gemini twins. And yeah, Castor and Pollux. This coin, you see, it features the patron goddess Venus holding the scales, kind of like on the portrait coin of Julius Caesar we just saw over here. See? Very similar. But here she's holding scales, and here she's holding victory. But this one's kind of interesting because Venus has a little Cupid on her back. This coin is beautiful because one of the reasons being is that it features Hercules. Also notice the style, the relief of the actual coin. How nice and three-dimensional these coins are. Remember when I talked about imperators? You see, this one says Brutus Imp. This coin is from a military mint, moving with Brutus and Cassius, and it features Brutus as imperator. Very interesting Brutus coin. So this fits into still the Republican series because the Republic officially ended with the first Roman Emperor Augustus, and we're talking about 27 BC. And this is 42 BC. This coin is interesting because it features it honors the first Roman doctor, which features the Roman goddess Salus, whose Greek equivalent was Hygieia. And she holds the serpent, and very interesting. And in the front, you have also Salus. So health being very important in the Roman Empire. Next. This is a very rare coin. Over many years I've only came across one. And this is the one that I have. And this one features Europa riding left on a bull. The story goes that Zeus transformed into a bull to kidnap Europa to take her away and have his way with her. And so it's a beautiful scene depicted on a Roman Republic coin. And in the front you have Jupiter. Incidentally, Jupiter is Zeus, so very interesting story told by Roman Republican coin. Next, I want to point out a rare type. Do you see the size of all these other coins? These are called denarius coins. And this is called the sestertius coin. It is, see, about, half the, much smaller size than the other one. And it's also, incidentally, much more rare. And on the back, it features the Dioscuri twins on horseback. If you visit Rome today, they still have, statues of the Dioscuri at on top of one of the staircases. So it's kind of interesting seeing them. So very rare to see sestertius as opposed to just a denarius coin. This coin fits into the coins of the Roman Republic because, it features the portrait of Mark Antony. Mark Antony was one of Julius Caesar's generals, and later played a very vital role in the development of the dictatorship, which was the Roman emperors coming to power. So after this guy was gone, he was pretty much the last man standing for total control of Augustus, or also known as Octavian, to take over and become first Roman emperor. But for a while, Augustus and him, and also Lepidus, they split the empire into three parts. Lepidus having Sicily, Augustus having Rome and Italy, and Mark Antony got the eastern provinces, including Egypt, where he fell in love with Cleopatra and had some children with her too. And the story goes, he wound up committing suicide because he was hopeless in defending against the forces of Augustus. This coin is very interesting. Q. Pomponius Musum Monnier. One of the things to point out is this, is that the Monniers, a lot of times, they created images on their coins as puns to their name. So, for example, Q. Pomponius Musa created a pun to the name that they had by issuing coins featuring the different muses. So this one is the Muse of the Dancing, to the best of my memory right now. So, very interesting coin. Some of the coins are, for example, the Muse of Erotic Poetry is super rare. So that one is, it fetches pretty much any price. And the other muses are also interesting and also rare. Very interesting to behold. This coin is very interesting because it features the portrait of Pompey Magnus, or pretty much Pompey the Great, struck by his son, Sextus Pompey, and very interesting mythology, scenery, and very important portrait coin of one of Julius Caesar's greatest rivals. Incidentally, it's interesting that Julius Caesar actually fell to die under a statue of Pompey the Great when he was assassinated. This coin is of Mark Antony, and pretty much the last coin he issued, which was circa 32-31 BC. Battle of Actium was a great naval battle where Mark Antony's general, Marcus Vipsanius Agrippa, took command and destroyed the legions, or pretty much the fleet of Mark Antony. Mark Antony consequently fled to Egypt, where he committed suicide. Then Queen Cleopatra committed suicide because she did not want to be holed up in chains and brought to Rome as a trophy for Augustus. So what's interesting about these coins is that it features the legionary standards, which were these standards that the legions held, and the legionary eagle. The eagle also being a symbol of Rome, which is very powerful, and also the bird of Zeus or Jupiter. And see, this one is for Legion 4. This was struck to pay Legion 4 that he had. And on the back you had Galley. Mark Antony took a lot of this money that Cleopatra had, and he used it to buy a lot of ships, and thought he was superior to fight a battle in the sea rather than on land. Probably his greatest mistake. But to this day, we still have these beautiful coins that Mark Antony struck that circulated widely in the ancient world. And they're just beautiful, featuring the galley. It's very interesting to see the ship and the legionary standards. Well, we can't leave off the Republican series without mentioning Augustus. Augustus became first Roman emperor in 27 BC. He was also the emperor during the birth and part of the lifetime of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ was crucified between 30 and 33 AD. His adopted son Tiberius, the next Roman emperor, was the one under whom Jesus Christ was crucified. But the interesting thing about this, the reason I mentioned Jesus Christ, is that this coin is actually considered to be one of the tribute penny types, or render unto Caesar all that is Caesar, and render unto God all that is God's. So very interesting to see an Augustus coin in this Roman Republic series. So now that you guys have seen all these wonderful coins, I recommend you check out the article I link with these types and many more below this video. Also, like this video so that other people can check it out and see it and enjoy it. And the link to the article includes information about the book. It has a lot of beautiful pictures of different coins. But incidentally, I'm also not just a collector, I'm also an enthusiast and seller of these ancient coins. So with every coin you see, you get this professional presentation with professional research that cites major reference books such as the one I showed you. And it comes with a beautiful certificate of authenticity, complete with a lifetime guarantee of authenticity. So I'm looking forward to dealing with you. Check out the article below this video, and I'll be glad to answer any more questions and help you to become more and more proficient in this wonderful field of ancient coin collecting and numismatics. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.